ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily, where we post daily Rockets content. Man, today we're going to go ahead and kind of recap the game last night against the Phoenix Suns. I know the Rockets do play against Los Angeles Clippers tonight, hoping to end this fat losing streak before it gets a little too out of hand. No KPJ, no Christian Wood last night, and we almost won. There's just so many, it's so weird, dude, because there's so many positives to come from last night, and it just makes all the negatives seem like so abundantly clear, right? Like, we were talking about trading Christian Wood all season. You type in this channel name, trade Christian Wood, there's probably like 10 videos in the last 3 months on why we should trade Christian Wood. And Alperen Sengun last night, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block, 3 of 4 from downtown, 7-11 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Great pick and roll defense, getting his teammates involved, even if it wasn't an assist. Like, it's so clear Sengun has so much potential. But I talked about this on the main channel earlier today. Like, it does make a little bit of sense, like, that Houston wants to play it a little safe, maybe trade away Christian Wood in this upcoming offseason, maybe try and move ahead in the draft, maybe try and, get 2 lottery picks. Who really knows what Rafael Stone has in store? I got a comment yesterday saying, the Rockets definitely, I can't remember who it was or what exactly, but the gist was this, like, the Houston Rockets clearly have some type of master grand scheme that they're planning, but it's so confusing right now. I feel like that's just hits the nail on the head right there. Outside of that, you saw no Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin's interesting because this is a guy who, majority of the fan base loves the guy, and there's definitely some outliers who are rooting on the downfall of KPJ. I don't really understand how you could. The guy is so likable. It was interesting because you saw Dennis Schroeder come out, and we've talked about this on the channel for the last week since we got Schroeder. Schroeder's a perfect addition. He's a perfect addition to this basketball team if you traded Eric Gordon. Right? There's no reason Eric Gordon should be taking 24 shots. Come on. Why is Eric Gordon taking 24 shots ever? I can't think of at any point in Eric Gordon's career where I'd be like, yeah, all right, 24. That makes sense. This dude took 24 shots, 14 threes, and he was not efficient whatsoever, not even a little bit, and still finishes with 20 points, gets his baggie. I don't really understand why you're playing Eric Gordon 38 minutes so he can take 24 shots. What? The last shot went to Eric Gordon and not who it should be going to, any other dude, but more specifically Jalen Green. But having Schroeder out on the court, it was crazy because the Rockets got off to a lead and it pretty much stuck until was it the end of the third? It was either the end of the third or really quickly into the fourth, really early in the fourth quarter. But for a majority of the basketball game, the Rockets, they basically essentially controlled the game. And a lot had to do with Dennis Schroeder. The court seemed so much more open. I know the announcer said, guys are more willing to pass. These Rocket players are more willing to pass because they know they're going to get it back. And that's a jab at Christian Wood, who we should have traded, I think. But Schroeder, it's I'm really rooting for Schroeder, and it's just really interesting. Offensively, defensively, we looked a lot better. I know we gave up 124 points, but it was really kind of due to a fourth quarter breakdown. But I guess the defense always can be a little bit better, right? It's the Rockets. But Schroeder, immediately offensively, the offense looked so good. At every point in the game last night, fourth quarter obviously was tough because you lose, but 121 points against Phoenix Suns, a healthy Phoenix Suns team, who's complaining? So it's just so interesting where it's all right, Dennis Schroeder starts 7 of 16 from the field, goes for 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. And we almost beat the best team in the NBA. It just makes you think a little bit, right? I love Dennis Schroeder off of the bench. I absolutely love Dennis Schroeder off of the bench. But, and I'll say this again, Eric Gordon hopefully at some point gets shut down, and then Josh Christopher kind of gets inserted back into the starting lineup. Some people have been saying, because I made a video yesterday about talking why I'm worried for Josh Christopher, and a lot of you guys bring up really good points, saying you got to earn your playing time. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying if Josh Christopher is getting 10 minutes a night, I feel like he's better suited to play in the G League, if that makes sense, where he's playing 25 minutes at least. I would think if he goes to the G League, he'd play 25 minutes at least. That's the only thing I'm trying to get there. And then, Schroeder complicates it all, and I want Eric Gordon to go back to the bench, and then it's like, all right, well, the backup bench 1-2 is Schroeder and EG. I personally don't have an issue with putting Garrison Matthews back into the starting lineup like he was earlier in the season, and then putting Josh Christopher at the backup 3 position. I think that, like, everyone's happy in that situation. But Silas, I'm hoping, gets really creative in the last couple of weeks of the season. I mean, the NBA season ends in less than 2 months. So, like, 6-7 weeks from now, they play their last game. I'm not great at math, but let's try and figure this one out. If the Suns have played 58 games, 82 minus 58 is 24. We're gonna go with 24. That's not many games whatsoever. So I'm hoping around 15 games at the absolute least is when you start to see either like Eric Gordon getting benched for back-to-backs at the very minimal, or Eric Gordon just kind of shut down in general. We start seeing Şengün get some starts. Maybe you start seeing KJ Martin get some starts next to Şengün. I just want to see a lot of creative lineups. And I'm hoping, and I'm kind of anticipating we're going to see some creative lineups, but I'm hoping that they start happening a little bit earlier than they did last season, where it was really the only like last 7 games or so that they kind of were like, all right, let's have a lot of fun out here, and let's, you know, KJ, you're going to start, all these guys are going to start, you know, Armani, you're going to start too. Like, I just hope that starts a little earlier this season. Outside of that, KJ, another solid game, man. I just want to see KJ start, if we're being honest here. Jae'Sean Tate had a phenomenal game. Got to give love to Jae'Sean Tate. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 8-8 from the free throw line, 7-9 from the field goal, 0-1 from downtown. I think it was Swaggy who tweeted last night saying, like, man, if Jae'Sean Tate had a 3, because there were so many points. There's always so many points in Rocket games where you wish Jae'Sean Tate had like a 35% three-point shot. Like, if Jae'Sean Tate had a 35% three-point stroke, he would be like he'd kind of be turning into that, maybe not that dude, but he'd be turning into that dude's best friend, because he's a very multi-dimensional player as it is. You give him a three-point shot, which is pretty much all that he's lacking, is a reliable shot past the paint. I mean, that gets you excited. Jalen Green, plus 11, ties team high, 17 points. Nothing really else outside of scoring. 3 of 7 from downtown, which is what I like to see, 5 of 12. He was aggressive at times. I don't have an issue actually with Jalen Green taking 12 shots. Like, I'm hoping that he takes like at least 10 shots every night. It's more of a, I can't believe Eric Gordon took 24 shots, like, and Jalen only took 12. It's Jalen should be the one taking 24 shots, and Eric should be, I mean, not even taking 12, but I guess I'll take Eric Gordon taking 12 shots if that means Jalen can get 24. So it's just weird. Anyways, we play the Clippers tonight, and another road game. Big losing streak skid right now, and I'm not worried it's going to get to like 15, or did it get to 16 earlier this year? I think it got to 15 was the highest it got. I'm not worried it's going to get there, because we're on a tough road trip as well. West is tough, NBA is tough in general, but you know, I'm ready to get KPJ, I'm ready to get Christian Wood back and healthy, and just kind of see what this Rockets team is about in the second half, because, you know, as much as I give, you know, EG and Christian Wood, you know, their shit, I'm rooting for them. You know, ideally I want Christian Wood to turn into a 25-10 player. You know, 20-10, I'll take 20-10, but I'll take it with a grain of salt at the same time. When I see Christian Wood go 20-10 this season, it's a much different 20-10 than it was last year. I don't have any clips that can back that on me, but it's more force-fed, I feel like, this season, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like Christian Wood, and it's not like the Rockets are force-feeding Christian Wood. It's more Christian Wood force-feeding himself. You know, he's constantly kind of trying to find his spot. He's trying to find his shot on the court whenever he has the ball. Last season, I felt like he just was like a nice complementary piece who you didn't run the whole lineup around him. Like, you didn't run the whole offense around Christian Wood, and I feel like now they're kind of drifting into that, like, all right, Christian Wood needs his touches, and that what Christian Wood getting his touches means is no one else is really going to get too many. So it's just a weird, because it's a different lineup as well. You got to remember, for most of the season last year, you know, the Rockets had PJ Tucker, you know, they had John Wall, they had a bunch of different guys, and, you know, I felt like Christian Wood just kind of fit a little bit more with John Wall. Maybe it's that. Maybe Christian Wood fits better with John Wall than he does KPJ, because KP is such a young point guard. I don't really know what it is. I don't really know, but I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for all the Rocket players. And I'm hoping, to be honest with you, I'm hoping Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. come back after this half. I imagine neither of them are playing tonight, but I could be wrong. I hope they both come out of this second half and they're like, yeah, you know, they start balling out. Jalen Green, obviously, same goes for him. Şengün, same goes for him. Tate, you know, the whole Rockets team. So I'm trying to string together some wins. You guys remember my prediction of 25. Like I said, I'm not too worried about winning games because, first off, it's good for development, and they're not going to win too many to get themselves out of a lottery pick. I don't think they're going to win too many games to get them out of, like, top 7 at the very, very, very most. And even if they were to fall like 5 to 7, that's when I think that they'll trade Christian Wood and maybe even like a future pick and, you know, a young player or something to try and just get like a top 1 or 2 draft pick. Who knows? Who knows, though? This is all speculation. Hit the like button, hit that sub button, drop some comments down below from that Suns game, what you want to see moving forward, what you did like, what you didn't like, whatever you want to say. And let's hope we get a win tonight.